You do so many different types of performing, from chamber music to recitals to concertos, of course. Does the type of performance that you're going to be doing change how you prepare?
Not really at all. I would say I perform for a concerto the same way I would perform playing a quartet. Prepare my part as best as I can, know the other parts as much as I can, listen to the piece in advance so that I'm aware of what's going on around me, and go into the first rehearsal having done all the work that I could possibly do by myself, so that I can contribute as much as possible to the other musicians.
So, are there any pieces that you would love to play in the near future?
Any pieces that I would love to play in the near future? Well, I haven't played that many of the late Beethoven quartets. I've played his last one, Opus 135, and actually just one movement of Opus 132. I would love to play Opus 130 with the Grosse Fuge. What else? I've never played the Schubert Cello Quintet, which is one of the pieces that I absolutely adore. I think in some ways playing chamber music is sometimes what I enjoy the most, because you're just one voice of 4 or 5, and rehearsing with your friends and working with people who you really admire and respect and enjoy being around. That combination is incredibly special, and also you don't have to travel by yourself.
No airport alone time.
No airport alone time, exactly. That can be incredibly rewarding. And I do play a lot of concertos, and so of course there's a lot of chamber music that I long to play, and I do a lot of chamber music, especially during the summers, but there's also such a large repertoire that I think some people who do chamber music full-time still might have some pieces that are sort of on their wish list.
Yeah. Well, before we wrap this up, I want to also point to one more influence that I've heard you have, which is 24.
Oh, I mean the TV show?
The TV
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, how does that play into your experience as an artist? Do you find inspiration through, things that you experience in that way? I've heard that you're quite passionate about 24.
Well, I mean, 24 is sort of more of at least for me, sort of a mindless passion. When you're on a really long, when you're on an 18-hour plane ride, you can watch an entire season in one sitting.
I take your word for it.
Yeah, you can. You feel wretched afterwards. But I mean, there are other forms.
24. I mean, it's kind of exhausting.
Oh, it's incredibly emotionally and physically draining experience. So sure, like everyone else, I have sort of mindless pleasures. But there are other TV shows out there that I think are actually really wonderful and are a really wonderful take on human life. Like, for example, 6 Feet Under. I don't know if you've seen 6 Feet Under, but
I haven't. I've heard of it.
It's a really great show. And another great show that I love, of course, The Sopranos. Mm-hmm. Which, although, yes, it's about, the mob, is sort of just about the American experience, about, immigrants coming to the States and trying to succeed in society, and the struggles of the American family, struggles of life, really, and trying to find your place, all in this mob setting, which also kind of makes it extra entertaining. But I think that's a great series. Yeah, I guess watching TV shows is one of my guilty pleasures.
You gotta have it. Otherwise,
you gotta have it, or else you then just become like a saint. You just like read Tolstoy all day.
Absolutely, wouldn't want that.
Right, wouldn't want that.
So, do you have any upcoming projects that you'd like to tell us about?
Upcoming projects. Let's see. The Ensemble Ditto that I'm a member of just finished our first. We just finished our first recording. It's of the Trout Quintet and the Brahms G minor piano quartet.
Oh, that's exciting.
I recently released also the 3 Brahms sonatas on Sony Classical with Max Levinson. And that was a project I was really excited about and felt very passionate about, because it's interesting to do the complete works in a genre by a composer. Brahms, he destroyed some of his other violin sonatas because he was a very harsh critic, but so he left us those 3. And it's interesting to sort of do a survey of all 3. And I felt that I learned a lot about Brahms by preparing for this and by recording the 3 of them at once. So that was something I was really excited about, and I'm very happy with how that turned out. So yeah, those were sort of the 2 most recent special projects that I've done.
Very exciting. Well, we'll definitely be sure to check both of those out.
All right,
so
sounds
you
good.
continue to follow your career through Twitter.
Yes, through Twitter and Facebook, right, exactly.
So many ways to connect with you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Stefan.
Well, thank you for having me. This was great.
Talk to us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.